From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon on this Monday of LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we're going to go over that monthly stimulus check and why you may actually get more months of checks. OMG. Then we cut to the big money as fourth stimulus recon may actually have more money for you than initially thought. It's going higher. Oh boy. Then we cut to the big exciting details about the voting process and how doing it the right way, not the wrong way, is the most important thing, and why the Democrats have prepared for this over the last few weeks, quietly and behind closed doors. You'll see the shocking revelation of dates and times in this recording. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which has another stimulus check for next year and raises your benefits up a lifetime. And then the $22,000 that one viewer got, $10,000 that another, and $12,000 that yet another got. It's your day to get this big money. It's a big Monday afternoon. And we are here, you're here, let's get to the money. And it starts right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Hope you had a beautiful weekend. Happy Monday. I hope your weather is good where you are. It is cooler. It is definitely cooler. It is almost sweater weather here in Los Angeles. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather this beautiful Monday, the day after our country's birthday. Hope you had a beautiful weekend as well. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we'll be going over a lot of breaking news you're going to hear just on this afternoon's broadcast. First, we'll be going over the number of checks. Could there be more checks under this fourth stimulus package? Then we cut to the fourth stimulus recon. And could the recon be giving you more money than initially thought? Then we go to the voting process and how the vote is more important than when they do the vote, and why it's important to understand that they're getting us ready for the finish line. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which gives you another stimulus check for next year. It does not overlap. It goes at its own time frame. And then we cut to the raising up of your benefits lifetime. Next, we go to the big money the viewers continue to get, $22,000 for Nisi, and it's your opportunity to get as well. And this is LA, America's only 7 days a week, 24-hour a day financial news network in America, live in the morning and taped in the afternoons, on air nearly every hour of the day. Coming up next is Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then Overnight's Crypto at 5:30, followed by Evenings Crypto at 7 o'clock. The new hit show, Sirloin, is back in his own time slot, telling people to move on over at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, followed by our Overnight's programming. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like this video. Every time you like the video, it delivers you an extra slice of pie left over from 4th of July weekend. And consider becoming a member. Let's get into that monthly stimulus check from those Democrats starting right now. The monthly stimulus check has two approaches, House and Senate. Let's compare and then get ready to voice our opinion, one or the other. They're slightly different, and let's understand how they become different starting right now. House or Senate? Well, the House and Senate have different approaches, and it's based upon the amount of the check and the number of the checks. So here we go, starting right now. The House and Senate are slightly different across the board, starting with this. House provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Senate provides a stimulus check from July to December. Okay, let's go to the payouts monthly. $2,000 after the first month, and then after that, it's $1,000 monthly. Senators monthly, unknown but word on the street, is it's this. Wow, now that is deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now, let's go over where the breaking news is really right at the moment. It's this item. Pandemic plus 1 year. A week ago, we started the week understanding that the legislators may contend the pandemic is over. Well, the pandemic's over, then that would just mean 1 year of checks, which would be under the House bill $13,000. But now we're realizing that maybe it is going to be pandemic plus 1 year. Pandemic plus 1 year means however many more months there are left of the pandemic because of Delta. And we see, number one, Warren Buffett saying the pandemic's over. Warren Buffett saying the pandemic is not over. LA County, the pandemic's not over. The airlines, the pandemic's not over. So if that's the case, well, the House bill would pay a lot more than $13,000 in 12 months of checks. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Your opinion may actually be different than it was a week ago. I know my opinion is different. Things change, and there you go. Really a big shocker. Who gets his fourth stimulus check? You do. The Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would come to individuals 75,000 or less. Democrats want you to have one. The Democrats want married couples to have a fourth stimulus check. Double it, 150,000 or less. The Democrats want a family of four to have a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would come monthly. It would not be income, so it's not taxable. It would be the same amount as a stimulus check for all people, including adult dependents. And the fourth stimulus check would come monthly. It would not come in a wave. It's not a waivable check. So if you see the check on the freeway and it's driving past you really quickly and you're trying to chase it down, check, I need you, come on back. Can you try to wave at the check? And then the check cuts you off. Don't get angry at the check. Rude check. Can't drive either. It's not a waivable check, and it may wave in the lanes. Be careful, but it's not going to wave back to you. So there you go. The fourth stimulus check would come in the month of July for the month of July, and in the month of August for the month of August. The fourth stimulus check from those Democrats, they would get it to you in July for July, and in August for August, and they represent that the final vote will be in the month of July as well. So there you go. That is your first of your three parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In the second part, we go over the incredible surprise that the fourth stimulus recon, where your check is, could be going higher now that roads and bridges are out of it. And going higher means more money to you. I'll go over the incredible details of that. And then we go over the voting process in the third part of this video. It's really exciting news. But first, let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. And fifth stimulus raises your benefits up a lifetime and gives you another stimulus check. They don't overlap. This stimulus check is January on forward, and it would not overlap with the fourth, so they would make sure one goes at a different time frame. It's being done for fifth stimulus this fall, and there we go. They're plus going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. I have all those exciting details. But first, let's get some money. It's Money Monday. It's Money Monday on this channel. Well, it's Money Monday every day on this channel. So get that pen and paper ready. I know you had a lot of colors on the 4th of July, but today the only color is purple. So if it must be a Crayola crown, I know you got purple in there. We're going to get some money. If you're new to this channel, this is what this channel does. This channel, 1, does not track stimulus checks. 2, does not track dates. We aren't date chasers. We are not calendar catchers, or whatever expression you want to use. We cash checks. So if there's $20,000 available for you today, we cash it. We don't sit around waiting for something and say, I'm looking at the calendar. No, we cash checks. And boy, I gotta congratulate you, because you have been amazing. Viewers have gotten fortunes from this channel day in, day out, every single day, every single hour. If you gotten anything from this channel, jump in the live chat right now. Post what you got. Rent, utilities, Snap, internet, anything. And if you posted before, post it again. Nisi, $22,000 she has got from this channel in the last week. John, $12,000 Snap. Nisi got several items. Art got several items. Rent, utilities, and also Snap. Viewers are getting $10,000 to $12,000 of rent. When I'm saying there's $5,000 approximately, I'm way off base on that number. I'm undervaluing it. I'm saying there's a couple $100 for utilities. They're getting $3,000 for utilities. They are getting $6,000 to $7,000 per person for Snap. They're getting enormous sums of money. So let's go over that money for you right now. This is what I do, and I think viewers are starting to get the grasp of the importance of getting this money. This is just like, in my opinion, December 2020. We were waiting for second stimulus to happen. It was not yet happening. It was Christmas, the holidays, you need money. And I stepped up and I got viewers $250,000. I got viewers like Tyrone, $15,000 for his family of four for rent. It changed his life, and he was not an anomaly. I got viewers day after day, $250,000. It helped pay bills because who cares what the money is called so long as it's money, and there's a lot of it. In the spring of 2020, I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans to save their businesses, their homes, and also their employees' homes. So let's get that money. We're getting rent, utilities, mortgage, and also homeowners' utilities. So get that pen and paper ready. Every place has different eligibility. So if you reach out to one and you get a no, reach out to the next. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. You want to reach out to each of those. And remember, if one says no, go to the next. And if you go to all six and you can't find it, reach out to the volunteers. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's mixtape drop tape. They don't want to know it. I don't want to know it. They don't know it. And if they did know it, they're going to admit they don't know it. So there you go. That is wonderful money. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this big pot of money. The next pot of money is Snap. And John got $12,000 in the last few days for it. Viewers are consistently getting $6,000 to $7,000 for it. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it. And what is Snap? It's money for your food. It is money for your food. It comes from Department of Agriculture, so reach out to Department of Agriculture to get it. How much does it pay? A fortune. A family of four in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of four in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. You're killing it. I'm killing it. The check on the freeway, just really killing the speed limit. Just speed to my bank account. That's all I ask. And don't be a bouncy check. Don't bounce on the freeway because we don't like bounce checks. So there we go. We're only 12 minutes into the video, and I got more money for you right now. It's coming back from your states. The states have been identified to return money back to you due to computer error. These are states who had overpaid unemployment benefits due to computer error and then asked you to return the money back to them. Well, it was actually your money to keep. The federal government has ordered them to return the money back to you. Wow. How much? One viewer got $5,000 from this. Where? Direct deposit. When? Reach out to your respective state and say, hey, state, where's that check due to computer error? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And then finally, your wonderful money back from IRS. If you got this as well, jump in the live chat. This is the refund check due to your 2020 unemployment benefits you paid taxes on initially. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Let's go over how much it is. Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit or otherwise in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yeah, about 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, do a user search for your social security number, and it'll reveal stuff you never knew. It'll reveal stuff you don't want to know. You wish you didn't know. It'll reveal the taxes in your file, the taxes you paid. It'll reveal who did Mitch McConnell originally sing backup singer for. It'll reveal when is Mitch hiring backup dancers. And is he having Kevin McCarthy do the auditions? And finally, it will reveal the tax return check you're getting. Wow, can we top that? We can. As we go into the second and big, humongous fourth stimulus update of 2021, starting right now on this afternoon's LALATE broadcast. Well, here we go. It was 3 weeks ago that there was a problem, and the problem was your money was in something called reconciliation or recon or fourth stimulus recon. And the recon was too big, not because of your money, but because of money in there for roads and bridges. So the problem was so manifest that the president and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer were meeting daily. And their concern was how to get this roads and bridges taken out because it was too big. The message was very clear. It would not pass with roads and bridges in there. It's too big. So finally, 2 Wednesdays ago, they met with the president and said, we're taking it out. He said, yeah, do it. Take roads and bridges out of the recon and make the recon smaller. Roads and bridges were spin off into their own TV series called Nash Bridges with Don Johnson with that beautiful car. Send me a DM if you have one. No, it was spun off into something called Bipartisan. Roads and bridges, all your money stayed where it was, stayed put in the recon. Now, you're going to see later in this video that this was such a big issue. It was a huge problem that even Jalapal has a quote, you're going to see in the third part of this video, where she asks her Democratic caucus to vote on how to do the voting on the two-path process. Well, at the time she asked her caucus about that question, there wasn't a two-part process. They were plotting for the two-path process, which we now have as of 2 Wednesdays ago. That was such a severe issue to get the two-path process that they were even considering how not only to split it, but also how to vote on it. That's coming up later in this video. You see now how important this was. Now that roads and bridges was split from your fourth stimulus recon, a lot of wonderful benefits came from it. Number one, it now became a passable recon. With a recon beforehand with roads and bridges in there, not passable. With a recon now with roads and bridges out of the recon, it is now passable. In fact, the GOP started talking about it. In a wonderful op-ed in a conservative publication, one author wrote how this actually made the recon passable. And it starts with a series of obvious statements, but then gets to the substantive statements. The higher the recon was, the harder it was to pass. By allowing the Democrats to take out some of this money out of the recon, roads and bridges, and put it into the bipartisan, the overall recon got smaller. Absolutely. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Yeah, it did. There was nothing there was nothing the GOP should have blessed in the recon because they now have an ungodly sum of money in the recon made possible by the bipartisan. Yes, so was Mitch set up? Of course he was set up. Of course Mitch was set up. Yeah, so there we go. Benefit number 2, that finally the recon had protection. What was the protection? Well, the fact that roads and bridges were out of there, that all that was left was progressive policies. And now we had seen why the White House had said to Jalapal that he wanted her to continue to protect the progressive policies in forced stimulus, which are monthly stimulus checks, climate, CARES economy, money check for seniors, money check for children, money for medicine, lots of money. He wanted Jalapal to protect all that progressive policies. And we had heard that before the split again as well. Yeah, so they were plotting this out. Jalapal before the split had told press that the White House had told her to keep on doing what she's doing. And progressive Democrat from Hawaii, Brian Schatz, said that the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon the White House's own priorities. Wow. So we had the protection issue. Third, and this is where it gets very exciting, that finally that roads and bridges were out, the progressives could add in more progressive policies for money for you, making it as big and bold as they want. Now, I want to clarify the term big and bold because someone had a very good comment overnight where I explained that before the recon was too big with roads and bridges in there. Now that roads and bridges are out, it's smaller and passable. And I said that the progressives were adding stuff back in. Don't think that by adding stuff back in, it's going back to the size of the roads and bridges. I want to make that very clear. They're adding stuff back in, but these aren't enormous value numbers like roads and bridges. So I just want to make that clear. The progressives now are adding stuff back in, adding stuff into the forced stimulus recon. Progressive checks, more checks for you of other subject matters, many of which they have not told us. Some surprises like housing, yeah, that we have never heard of before, and they're doing that ASAP. They in fact confirm it. Elon Omar, Democrat out of Minnesota, says we have a commitment that regardless of what happens with a bipartisan, the Congress will give us a recon that goes as far as we want it. Wow, that is wonderful news. And then Richie Torres, a representative out of New York, Democrat progressive, says, I refuse to vote for the bipartisan unless we have a large recon. Wow. And guess what? He wants housing in there and says housing's going in there. So there you go. Finally, messaging. The messaging of the recon really got really clear because finally people understood fourth stimulus recon was for you. 3 weeks ago, before recon and roads and bridges were split apart, there was a messaging issue where people would say, or naysayers would say, there's nothing in there. It's only roads and bridges. There's no money in there. It's only roads and bridges. Yeah, there always was money in there. There was fortunes of money for the American people in there, but it was overshadowed by roads and bridges. Now that the roads and bridges are out and they're down the road in the next town after the bridge, the roads and bridges are not overshadowing the image, the understanding of what that recon has in there for you. And yet there's always someone that's going to be a passerby, that's not a subscriber, that's not a member, that's going to pass by and just get very confused by things. They're going to say things completely inaccurate, like, in July, the checks coming are for the children. No, that's third stimulus. Come on, let's get caught up. That's 5-month-old news. Third stimulus was passed in the spring, in early this year. We're on to fourth stimulus. We're heading to fifth stimulus. So come on, get caught up. That's the first thing. Next one is where someone says, well, it's just roads and bridges, and they're still saying that. It's like, okay, can you get caught up? That was 2 weeks ago. Roads and bridges are out of the recon. Can you get caught up? Or someone that reads an article that was written, 4 weeks ago. I'm like, get caught up here. Things are moving quickly. I know. So it's sort of like it's a relay. It's like, okay, you have not left the baton. You left the baton at the casino. Can you pick it up? We're in the relay race. Let's get them all going. Jalopal is the one that got this rolling. Jalopal had written Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon. Now that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats from among the 100+ House Democrats who had said we're going to be putting a fourth stimulus recon checks in that fourth stimulus package. Wow, can we top that? Yes, we can. As the 7 members of that subcommittee in the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, that's responsible for writing recons and recon stimulus checks, wrote the president a letter about a week ago saying we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus recon. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Now let's understand this. Some of this is obvious, some of it needs to be repeated. Recon is for Democrats by Democrats. Democrats write it, and it's for Democrats to approve and for Democrats to vote on. There's no GOP members involved with the writing of a recon. They don't want a recon. They hear that word, it sort of, it sounds like bad mixtapes from a Kentucky senator. They don't want to hear it. So who writes recon? This committee, House Ways and Means Subcommittee. They, in fact, also write the stimulus checks. They're responsible solely for writing stimulus checks in the Congress. They wrote your third stimulus recon check earlier this year. They're writing your fourth stimulus recon that they represent, and they're writing your fifth stimulus recon and next year as well. That's coming up later in this video. Wow. And they also wrote your first and second stimulus check. Can we top that? Yes, we can. As the president has anchored fourth stimulus recon to the edge of the finish line by getting a provision that was complicated taken out of there, and it was the international corporate tax issue. Here's what an issue is that when recon and bipartisan were initially together and roads and bridges were in the recon, the president had said, I need to pay for this by raising corporate taxes. That was a thing that people could digest, fix a bridge by raising corporate taxes. Now that roads and bridges are out of the recon, how is he paying for the recon still? Raising corporate taxes. Yeah. Keep it silent. It's not as digestible. I'm going to raise corporate taxes to pay for someone's medicine, but that's what he's doing. And he had said, well, I'm worried about raising corporate taxes because business may move overseas where corporate taxes are lower. So he reached out to other countries overseas and said, hey, can you get it up? And they said, yeah, meet us in December. To which he reached out to his staff and said, staff, let's meet them in December. Bring them some wonderful potpourri from Dr. Jill. And the staff said, Mr. President, you can meet them in June. They're Europe. They do things different. They're close to the equator. They're Yaleys. They don't teach geography at Yale. So I'm going to burn for that joke. So they decided to go meet them now in July and bring them potpourri. And they had them sign on the dotted line now. What did this do? It anchored Forced Stimulus Recon to the edge of the finish line because now it made Forced Stimulus Recon easier to pass because international corporate tax issues were covered in the international agreement. They're not needed in the Forced Stimulus Recon, now making it easier to write Forced Stimulus Recon, easier to pass Forced Stimulus Recon, and anchoring Forced Stimulus Recon to the edge of the finish line. Wow, that is wonderful news. Can we top that? Yes. As we go over the voting process in the third part of this video, really the most fundamental big issue at this point is how they call the vote, not when they call the vote. We'll be going over why it's important not to be a date chaser, not to be a calendar catcher, but to focus on how they do it because they got to do it right. And that's coming up later in this video. Plus fifth stimulus with another stimulus check. Oh my goodness. But first, is there something more wonderful? Yes, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, SNAP, or internet, you've tried to find it, you see the people in the live chat. Post it again if you're in the live chat. Post the rent, utilities, and internet you've gotten. If you see those people posting it and you have not gotten, you've tried to get it, and you had problems getting it, reach out to the volunteers. What are you doing? Open the description of this video. Go down, you'll see an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house is a picture of Nancy. No, my eyes. No, it's not there. It's click the link. It says community page, news.la.com/community. It's separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The volunteers, reach out to them. They'll help you get that internet, rent, utilities, and SNAP if you can't find it. But they cannot fix your roof. They cannot clean your gutters. They cannot mow your lawn. They cannot sing backup singer for you. At least I don't think they can. Sorry, Mitch. But other than that, they can help you get this big money. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with the big finale of this Forced Stimulus Check update on Afternoons LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals, reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE. It's a big Monday afternoon as the fourth stimulus surfs on in. We'll have all the big details about how they call the vote on this fourth stimulus recon and the fifth stimulus with that additional check and raise up of your benefits. And this is LALATE. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. You don't want to miss a single video across the board. There's so much happening, so much breaking news. By the minute, you need to stay up to date about all the things that are happening. So hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. Every like helps. It also delivers some you'll play. You'll play? And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment. Coming up after this video, stay on this video. It'll automatically take you into Evenings LA, which is at 5 p.m., followed by Overnight's Crypto at 5:30. Then Evenings Crypto at 7. Sirloin is back at 8 o'clock nightly Pacific Standard Time, and then we go into our overnight shows. Let's get into that fifth stimulus starting right now. Fifth stimulus has another stimulus check. A lot of questions from viewers saying that one check would overlap with another check. No. They're legislators. They see that. You don't need to explain that to them. Yeah, there's certain things they can't see, but that they can see. They understand the fourth check goes like this, and the fifth check goes like that. So don't worry about a check overlapping. They will figure it out. They have not given us a lot of detail about the fifth stimulus yet, so don't worry about that. And then the important thing to understand is that it's preparation. I've seen some negativity where people say, why would they talk about fifth stimulus when they're still working on fourth stimulus? Why would you not? I mean, why would you wait to do things last second? I like things done ahead of time, don't you? So that's wonderful news. The fifth stimulus check would go for a vote in fall because fifth stimulus recon, it starts in the fall, the voting. And remember, it takes a while to do things. You vote, and then the finality is about December, and then the check would go out next year. Next, the president's dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration to ensure you get your checks going on time going forward. This is fourth, this is fifth, and this is monthly checks. Moreover, by the way, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, you never got it, you have to do two things. File a tax return, and on the tax return, request it in a particular line on the return. If you haven't done both things, go to a tax preparer. All right, let's go to that big fifth stimulus increase of your benefits. This week, we're going to see a lot of financial data. Wall Street was closed today. Banks and markets were closed, but the economic data going into today was incredible. We saw on Friday that the new jobs number went up, meaning inflation is kicking in, going up. We saw on Wednesday lumber going down 40%, largest drop in 1 month, meaning inflation's going up as new house sales went up as well. We've seen the producer price index, the CPI, in the last week go up red hot. So how does this work? Let's go over all the details. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Then they're going to remove the asset limit, add the inflationary benchmark, and then remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over how this calculates. First, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. That benchmark and how it works, you understand. First, they apply the benchmark in December. Second, the benchmark is for next year's benefits, so it determines if they go up or they stay the same. Third, you understand the new benchmark will be inflation. Fourth, you understand inflation's going up. And fifth, you've learned from this channel, as Jay Powell has said, your head of the Federal Reserve, that inflation will reach its highest point in December when they apply the benefits. Wow, that's wonderful. The only question remains is, how high is the inflation rate going to go? We're going to see a lot of data over this. We don't know with a definitive statement until the fall, but a lot of analysts are talking about potentially 10%. Let's use 10% as a number. First, your benefits will raise up, and then they'll step up another 10%. That's not just next year. That's lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. You want to hope for that benchmark kicking in right when inflation is at the highest of a generation, because your benefits will step up enormously and they'll never step down. Next year, if the inflation rate is 2%, then you'll be a +2, +10%. It's wonderful news. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to have some Crayola crowns and some stimulus checks in that hand. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work if you wish. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. No longer lose loss of benefits and no longer fear the marriage penalty. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will no longer fear the marriage penalty. That is not retroactive. I had some questions from viewers saying, is it retroactive? It is not. Finally, I did see some comments in one of the mornings LA today where people thought the fifth stimulus check was only for SSI. No. What I talked about early in this part was the stimulus check for everyone, and then the raising up of the SSI benefits. Those are two different items. So there you go. Well, how do you learn about all this big money? And if you see these people in the live chat right now posting $5,000, $4,000, $300 a month for this or that, how are they getting the money? They're becoming members. Notice they have an emoji next to their name, and it's a purple hawk. They're members. Where's the membership link? It's in the top of the chat in the pinned comments, also under the video where it says join. By becoming a member, you're delivered daily from me a breakdown of all the big money in third stimulus for you to get. I am just so ecstatic with you because you are killing it and taking the advice of this channel. Viewers are stepping up and getting this big money for rent, utilities, and internet and Snap. They understand money is money. And if you can get $5, $10, $20,000 for something, you get it. You don't sit around and track a stimulus check. You don't be a calendar chaser and you don't be a date chaser. Because ultimately what you do is you cash checks. And if there are checks available for you on the third stimulus, why would you not get them? It's just beside myself. Tens of thousands of dollars the federal government has allocated for you and you don't want to get it, go get them. They're application based, and becoming a member delivers to you a breakdown of all that big money on the third stimulus daily. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment, which brings us to the big finale of your fourth stimulus check of 2021 starting right now. It's important to know that how they call the vote is more important than when they call the vote. Calling the vote right away, the wrong way, gets you nothing. And I can't say that more emphatically. You call the vote right away because I got to have the check, call the vote right away. Calls the vote, doesn't pass. What do you mean it doesn't pass? So when are you going to do it again? Can't do it again. Sorry, that's it. Can't do it again. You're done. Nothing for you. You cannot call the vote the wrong way. There's no do-over here. So they have to do it the right way. 3 weeks, two Wednesdays ago, started the path to doing it right. And we suddenly see the severity of why calling the vote the right way was really an issue for everyone. Nancy, the president, and Chuck met over 3.5 weeks to determine that if they had called the vote when the recon had roads and bridges in there, it was not going to pass. Then, yes, you're about to see a big shocker. Jalapal, who wants you to have lots of money, there's no dispute about that, had a meeting with her progressives and her Democrats and polled them as to their opinion, had a vote for them as to how they do the voting process with the two-path recon and the bipartisan before they were even split. Oh my goodness. Yes, Jalapal, by slipping up, by saying the date that she had the vote, reveals that she asked her Democratic caucus to determine how to vote on the recon and the bipartisan before they were even split up. That shows how important the voting process is, and almost more important than even what's in the recon. Jalapal said that we polled our members, and the overwhelming majority of our caucus said they're not going to vote on the bipartisan without the recon vote going first. Nancy Pelosi emphatically was ready, as soon as the recon was split from the bipartisan, to issue a stern warning. Don't come to me unless you do it my way. And guess what? Her way is your way on this. Thank goodness. It's a new year. It's a new Nancy. She said, there ain't going to be no bipartisan vote unless we have a recon bill vote first. And as I said, there won't be a bipartisan bill vote unless we have a recon bill vote first. Plain and simple, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan bill vote unless we have a recon bill passed by the United States Senate. Well, what's going on here? Two things. First, they had to get the bipartisan separated from the recon. They couldn't vote on the recon when the roads and bridges were in there. It would not pass. Okay, now it's split as of 2 Wednesdays ago. What's the next element? The next element is how they call the vote. If they call the vote on the now smaller recon after the bipartisan, the recon dies. It won't pass because you have to have the following two events. One of the two events occur. Recon called first, or recon called concurrently with bipartisan. And when you do that, then it passes. Now, let me go over some stuff because I haven't gone over some of these items in about a week, and I know I'm seeing some confusion from some viewers. Most bills usually start in the House, then go to the Senate, and then go to the President. First, second, third, stimulus recon all did that as well. House, Senate to the President. And how that is usually done is, in the case of recon, it is House, then Senate, vote-a-rama, and then President. Now, understand, vote-a-rama is a 2-day event in which they amend anything that were given from the House. So I've seen some people in the comments in the last 2 days saying, when are they starting the Senate vote-a-rama? No. They're starting the Senate, so there's nothing to amend. They're starting the Senate. You do a vote-a-rama when you're amending something you got from the House. They're starting the Senate. They're starting in the Senate. So the first thing is step one is to start in the Senate. Number two, I want to clarify something so you understand all these nuances because a lot of people love the nuances of this channel. It is starting in the Senate, and you would say, well, aren't the Senate subcommittees marking up the language? No. The way Chuck has always done these recons is the Senate and House subcommittees work together because they're the same party. They're both Democrats, so they work together. But the House subcommittee is still taking the lead. Thank goodness. That brings us back to those House Ways and Means members. Yes, before the 4th of July weekend, the House Ways and Means subcommittee members issued a statement saying, we are working every day next week. Which is this week, which is great news. Also, the House Budget Subcommittee. Here's what you need to know, is that no one's out of town. No one's on vacation. No one's gone. No one has left town. They are actually in the building, in their office, and actually in the subcommittee meetings this week. And also what's important to know is that those House subcommittees, they don't tell you a lot of what they're doing while they're doing it. They don't give you drafts. They don't release the public drafts. They don't, issue tweets. We just voted on something. They don't tell you a lot. They just sort of do it. So they may be further along than we may even know. Finally, the word in session, I clarified over the weekend, but I think I have to stay on the message. In session refers to when the House floor and the Senate floor are open for a vote. Those rooms are closed, but the fact that the rooms are closed does not mean that people are out of the Western Hemisphere. The senators and the congressmen are still in the building. They're in their offices. They're in the subcommittees working. If they're ready to call for a vote on the Senate floor or the House floor, they can call it back into session. Nancy can do it, Chuck can do it, and the president can do it. And it does not require people flying transcontinental or intergalactic to go over back to D.C. They're still there. They have not left. So there you go. Finally, Purple Power Push. Haven't said enough about that lately. And boy, I got to say it. You have to push. We're close to the finish line. This is where things are in subcommittees. You see how they're working on this daily. You must be pushing. Hashtag Purple Power, hashtag MSC, hashtag tag your Democratic caucus, tag your Democratic senators, tag the Progressive Caucus, tag Jalapal, tag the head of the Progressive Caucus. But also do what WR did. WR 2 Fridays ago on noontime revealed to us he picked up the phone and called his Democratic senator, Senator Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's closest confidant, part of the Democrat caucus, spoke to his staff, spoke to his secretary professionally, prepared his comments in his mind. He did not call up and say, where's my stimulus check? When am I? How am I? Am I getting? He didn't do that. He said, give me a stimulus check. I want to tell you why I need a stimulus check. I want to tell you why I need multiple stimulus checks. Understand the messaging. You're not asking them to track things for you. They're not FedEx. You're calling them up and telling them why you need this. I need multiple stimulus checks because, and then prepare ahead of time what you're going to say. I did not get enough money during the pandemic. Businesses are ravaged in my town. Our town did not get enough money from the federal government. Whatever's the reason, express your opinion very emphatically. And finally, stay positive, stay focused. We're not tracking dates and we're not tracking checks. Ultimately, one viewer, I think it was Sharon, but I can't remember the name, had a beautiful comment yesterday. She said, government moves slow and government moves at its own pace. It does. And so because if they move slow, you should not lose your positivity. You should not lose your encouragement, and you should not lose your pushing. Ultimately, they set dates, and sometimes they don't make the date, and then it rolls over to the next date. And that is how we stay focused. Keep on pushing, keep on staying on message, and I am here for you as well as a family. And with that, subscribe. Next up is Evenings Allied. Stay on this video. It'll take you automatically into that show at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, followed by Overnight's Crypto, Evenings Crypto, and then Sirloin. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like helps and delivers a garnish of parsley. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, so you learn the big money that's available for you. You want to get this money and get it right now. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.